What is still unexplained by science? I heard somewhere that experts still aren't sure how eels reproduce. Apparently Sigmund Freud spent a lot of his pre-psychology life cutting open eels and looking for their testes. He never found any. He chopped up 400 eels before coming to the conclusion maybe not all of them actually are female, and that he doesn't actually need more eels. Now, we've basically got it all worked out, except for small stuff, big stuff, hot stuff, cold stuff, fast stuff, heavy stuff, dark stuff, turbulence, and the concept of time. Basically what lives at the very bottom of the ocean. Alternative theory, they know exactly what's down there, and they don't want to get its attention. I like this. How to heal nerves. They can literally grow whole ass human organs, but do not necessarily know how to heal them when they break. Nerves in particular are a shining example. They don't even have good drugs for nerve pain. They use anticonvulsants and antidepressants. The body is meter. They don't even have good drugs for nerve pain. They use anticonvulsants and antidepressants. Yeah, found this out the hard way. It's so strange to have a different type of pain that ibuprofen or paracetamol can't even take the edge off of. The current solutions can take weeks to even start working and have seriously shitty side effects. That's if they even work at all. Nerve pain sucks. 0/10 would not recommend. What happened before the Big Bang? What is really going on beyond a black hole's event horizon? Dark energy, whether or not before the Big Bang is even a coherent concept, given that time effectively started at the Big Bang. Similarly, whether beyond the edge of the universe is a coherent concept. Right, but to me that's mostly semantics. Whether or not whatever happened outside of the Big Bang follows any sort of sequential order that we call time. We all know what is meant by it. It's a real menduck, and just calling it singularity and moving on is literally the definition of science can't explain this. Yet. Ever? Close bracket. How time keeps happening. Time keeps on slipping *slippin *slippin. Into the future. My dad was a kid when this song came out. He says he remembers smoking some pot with friends in their basement listening to this song and thinking, wow, that is the deepest thing I've ever heard. Time really does just keep slipping into the future. How was that not a headshot? This made me chuckle. Thanks, kind stranger. I'm not sure if I got it. Is this some CSGO or Call of Duty reference? Where does consciousness come from? Fascinating. I believe they call it the hard problem. Growing old. Humans are regenerative enough that it shouldn't happen, but it does. How Steve-O is still alive. How Ozzy is still alive. The placebo effect, or alternatively, the nocebo effect, which is where your body shuts down because you believe it should, like people who really believe in voodoo, can be made to think they are turned into a zombie and start behaving like they think a zombie behaves. How cicadas know 13 or 17 years, and why only prime numbers. It's to offset predator mating seasons. Having an irregular spawning helps them survive via the element of surprise without having another species waiting for them to be born. Prime numbers are used by us to keep predators, other people, from decrypting your files via surprising other computers. Basically, primes are unique and basically have to be brute forced to figure out what the next prime is. So having anything be a prime number makes it harder to guess anything about its cycles or next move. How can some people be so ducking stupid? What keeps the laws of nature from changing? Who of this is gonna keep me up tonight? How gravity works. More precise, how gravity works under certain conditions. We have a really strong theory of how gravity works in most cases. General relativity, GTR, makes really good predictions if quantum effects can be ignored. If, however, quantum effects cannot be ignored, GTR breaks down. A further clarification is needed. A perfectly good quantum gravity theory, effective field theory, is available as long as you don't go to ridiculously high energy scales. And it's good enough for predicting the outcome of any experiment we can perform in the foreseeable future. Sure, we don't have a complete theory, but for all practical purposes, what we have works. Where a pen goes when you drop it in a class. They say he waited his whole life to know the answer, but he never got it. why you wouldn't put a serious tag on this. For real. A question like this basically requires the serious tag. What happens to our consciousness after we die? Better yet, what is your consciousness now? Energy, now, and after. Dark matter, partly black holes, generally a lot of space stuff. What's dark matter? Matter that we can't see or interact with at all, in any way, shape or form, aside from the gravity it emits. Don't worry though, it shouldn't be a big deal. After all, dark matter only makes up a mere 85% of all mass in the universe. Where do hamsters / gerbils / guinea pigs live outside the pet store? Guinea pigs are native to South America. Some folks there even eat them. CUI. Imagine your only farm animals were guinea pigs and llamas. Hard slog. So many things. We don't even know what we don't know. Why do only 9 out of 10 dentists prescribe ducking toothpaste? Because the 10th dentist is smart enough to know you shouldn't duck toothpaste. Morning sickness, which is not at all limited to the morning. Modern medicine. We can remove tumors from brains. HIV is no longer a death sentence. Also modern medicine. We don't really know what causes morning sickness, HARVEN ginger. Where life comes from. We have theories. We don't entirely understand the jump between not living and living. That's just another way of saying IDK. Why people all of a sudden feel the need to pull out in front of me when there is obviously no room for them. Why can't we see John Cena? I was really disappointed when I found out the Invisible Man movie wasn't about him. We still don't know why Cyan gets ejected the most. How cats purr and why they purr. Cats purr by resonating the evil that lives deep within them, and the reason why they do it is so they can trick you into putting your hand, which is conveniently made of meat, near them. Can confirm. My cat was purring until eventually he attacked my hand for no reason other than a duck you. Exactly how paracetamol, acetaminophen, works. We are still unable to simulate a human brain. Not yours. Why Redditors can't get partners. How Paul Rudd can stay 25-year-old for decades. Are lobsters just scorpion mermaids? More saltwater cockroaches, I'd say. Where does consciousness exist? In da brain. There's a huge number of topics. The human brain, black holes, dark matter, and energy. The Big Bang theory. How many species there are, specifically that many haven't been discovered. Why? With trillions of planets, we have no evidence for intelligent life. Behaviors of many animals. There are many more that are less commonly discussed. How orcs manage to make red faster. I thought they just had a latent psionic effect that they are blissfully unaware of. Kind of like how they can take a slab of metal and fill it with bullets, but somehow it still shoots despite physics not normally working that way. Pretty much. If they have enough orcs that collectively believe something, it will happen because of their psychic powers. Spaceship that has no engine and is literally duct taped together, no problem. Tanks with no gas in them, no biggie. Orcs just get shit done. Why the McFlurry machine is constantly ducking broken. That amorphous blob you see when you stand in front of mirror. Amorphous blob? I see polygonal shapes. Is this normal? I only see reflections of the surroundings. What else are you supposed to see there? If oatmeal is considered a soup or cereal, perhaps it's porridge? What EMX was going to lose his mind about? What exactly X was gonna give to us? The placebo effect. This is one of the most fascinating things I have ever read about. Ducks. How people can deny facts. What is a fact though? That's the bigger question. If a suitably qualified person researches a topic and comes to a conclusion, but a similarly qualified person comes up with something else, which of those is factual? Another thing people always forget is science doesn't inherently prove things. It is theories tested until no one can figure out how to disprove them. Consensus changes all the time, and the immediate politicization of a given consensus at any time only makes people more skeptical. You are absolutely right that many facts are up for debate, and a huge portion of things presented as fact are actually entirely conjecture. Reddit is just as bad as Facebook. Where the missing socks go in the laundry, it's to bait your stepsister. It sounds stupid at first, but when you start to think about it can make sense. Why do we need to sleep? We gain our energy from eating food and can nap when we feel ill to get that recovery time in. But why does a human body need to sleep at all? Why did we ever evolve to require 1/3 of our time to sleep? Barring any nurse/college student/etc. Jokes of course. Not much to do when the sun goes down other than try to get some sleep and hope your tribe isn't woken up by being attacked. The utility of sleep isn't much known, but a reasonable guess for why we do sleep anyway is just because we couldn't accomplish much at night before technology. Why I always wake up with a huge boner, especially when you didn't have a penis. Joke aside, you're probably horny or your bladder is full. What made the singularity expand to this universe? How cats purr. Where all the unicorns are hiding. How cats purr. Who let the dogs out? All the stuff that religion still claims to be certain about. The existence of life after death. I've seen too many examples to say something doesn't happen. I don't know what it is, but yeah. John Travolta. The universe is expanding, but what is it expanding within? Afterlife. False. It would Zareth have to be observed scientifically to count as unexplained. How people are somehow still so ducking stupid despite having access to the majority of human knowledge at our fingertips. Why I only attract people that hurt me. Why I don't attract anybody. The exact mechanism of how Tylenol works. There are theories, but as far as I know, there still hasn't been a consensus on how Tylenol works and what its exact target is. The origin of mass. The origin of life. How do you the cat? Consciousness. Fucking magnets. Use of gravity energy for going in space. We use kinetic energy. The day science will discover to use gravity energy to do same, we will be able to travel to space a lot easier. The origin of life. How easy it is to save 15% or more on car insurance using G-code. How anesthesia works and why redheads need a higher dose. The Big Bang. Also, male nipples and their function. Where are my socks? Why the hell YouTube keeps moving the comments? How these nuts were able to be shipped in the mail and arrive on time. Why are some people gay? Last I heard they were still looking at multiple genes. What happens after you die? We still don't know why we dream. Water expands when it gets to freezing temperatures. This goes against the most basic understanding of the states of matter. Cooling down items should lead to contraction, and eating of items leads to expansion. Water does that under either condition. Honorable mention. Turbulent flow. What is before the Big Bang? We have theories but that's all. Where does a single grain of sand come from? Why is it here? And where will it eventually go? If we are in a singular universe, or if there are multiple universes. Most things about sharks basically, we know basically nothing about them, especially certain species. The illness me/CFS is known since 65 plus years, yet science doesn't know its cause nor a cure or therapy, neither the exact cause of the disease or even a medical test, even though experts consider the symptoms worse than multiple sclerosis or cancer. In average it takes years to get a diagnosis, since doctors are that much uneducated about this disease. Dark matter. Hard evidence on what is tying the four fundamental forces to affect everything. There are theories but some of them, you would need to see the beginning and the heat death of the universe to be sure. Cure for cancer. Consciousness. How planes fly. Why we need to sleep. We have some guesses, but we still don't know the answer. Why the duck badger bites are so good. No one can explain why planes stay in the air. There are multiple theories by all our incomplete explanations. Black holes. Why we exist. What happens after death. Consciousness and the concept of a soul in humans. Furries. RARXD. Kinda everything. I guess we as a species literally know nothing about anything. and why people buy Reddit awards. What causes type 1 diabetes? We know the body attacks itself, and the pancreas suffers, but why does it attack itself? Nobody knows, which is why we are no closer to a cure now than 30 years ago. How bicycles really work. Not the mechanical gears and stuff, but how we are able to balance and ride them. Especially doing crazy tricks, or tilting them to one side without falling off. They're very contradictory contraptions apparently, where gravity should do one thing but doesn't. For some reason. Keep in mind I'm pulling this from some distant memory of a TV show I saw half of, about a year ago, so there's probably some explanation, but I can't be bothered going and looking it up right now because lazy. Prove me wrong. Alright. Or whatever. As an engineering student, we fully understand how bikes work. You balance by shifting your weight. Same as walking. We would describe the types of tricks you are talking about using dynamics, the mathematical description of objects in motion. Why consciousness exists. If time travel exists or not. Time travel for sure does not exist. Otherwise we would see people from the future and or past. Alternate/parallel universes that you could travel to, however, up for debate. Please click subscribe if you enjoyed this video.